Welcome back to All This Math. Assata, where you go? Anyway, if you're here, hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. Well, I already told you to like the video. Share this video with at least 2 other people. And if you have any questions about anything I explain, please put your questions in the comment section or your comments. Assata has made a return, but she says there's something wrong with her voice, so she's not going to talk in this video. Instead, she's going to eat a Granny Smith apple. Why are they called Granny Smith apples anyway? I'm going to trick her into talking. Watch. All right, so let's take a look at this problem. You want to read the problem? Go ahead. She thinks I can't trick her into talking. All right, anyway, the circumference is 257.36 centimeters. Circumference of what? The circle. The circumference is the perimeter. It's the length around the circle. Around the circle. Around the circle. It's the length, total length. What is the diameter? That's another vocabulary term, diameter. The diameter is a chord, chord. It's a chord. What's a chord? A chord is a segment that goes from one point on the circle to another point on the circle. Now, the diameter is a special chord. What's special about it? It goes through the center of the circle. So if the center was drawn here, the diameter would go through the center. So if you have like a large pizza and you cut it in half, that line that cuts the pizza in half, that is a diameter. That's the diameter. The diameter is always double the length of the radius, right? The radius goes from the center to the edge. The diameter goes from the edge to the other edge through the center. Diameter goes through the center. So to do this problem, we need a formula. What's the formula for circumference of a circle? What is it? So there are 2 formulas that I like to use. I like to use either C equals 2 pi r or C equals pi d. 2 pi r means 2 times pi. Pi is a number, 3.14. That's why pi day is March 14th. R stands for the length of the radius. Now in this particular problem, we're not looking for the radius. We're looking for the diameter. So you could use this formula, and then once you find the radius, just double it or multiply it by 2. But if you got a formula that gives you that includes the diameter anyway, why not just use that formula? Right, Assata? Just use C equals pi d. So what's that going to look like? It's going to look like, all right, look, 257, replace C with 257.36, right? So we got 257.36 is equal to pi 3.14 d, right? What is d? We don't know what d is. We're about to solve for d. D stands for diameter. What's the diameter? Diameter is a chord. I told you that. Let's reinforce it. Let's reiterate it. The chord is a chord that goes from the one edge of the circle to the other edge of the circle, but the diameter goes through the center. The center. That's what makes it special. It's a special chord. Goes through the center. This is our equation. 257.36 equals 3.14 d. And whenever you're solving an equation, right, what do you want to do? You want to isolate the variable. Isolate the variable. Isolate the variable. So what do I need to get rid of? Assata? Like I said, she's not answering because she thinks there's something wrong with her voice. We want to get rid of 3.14. Then the question is, how do you get rid of 3.14? You do the opposite operation. 3.14d means 3.14 times diameter. Times means multiply. What's the opposite of multiplying? What is it? What does that mean? Fraction? So dividing? That means you need to divide to get rid of 3.14. The 3.14 is going to turn into a 1. Now, also, with algebra, which we're doing now, we always want to stay balanced. If I divide on the right side, I need to also divide on the left-hand side by the same exact number. So now we go to our calculator. We're going to do 257.36 divided by 3.14. What does that say? Tell us. 81 point, let me see. 0.96 centimeters is equal to D. Now I rounded off to 2 decimal places because the original circumference was rounded off to 2 decimal places. So I want to be consistent. 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places, 2 decimal places. So that means that the diameter is 81.96 centimeters. So that means that if the circumference of this circle is 257.36 centimeters, then the length across the circle from one edge to the other should be 81.96 centimeters. All right. Another reason, real quick, let me point this out. The reason that pi is always 3.14, because pi is equal to the ratio between the circumference of any circle and that circle's diameter. It don't matter how big the circle is, it don't matter how little the circle is. How big, how little, it don't matter. The ratio or the relationship between its circumference, meaning the perimeter around it. Circles are so special that instead of saying the perimeter of a circle, they got their own name for their perimeter. Triangles got perimeters. Trapezoids got perimeters. Squares got perimeters. Rectangles got perimeters. A pentagon got perimeter. But circles, they too fancy. They got their own word for their perimeter, circumference. So the circumference divided by its diameter is always going to be equal to 3.14. That's something our ancestors in ancient Kemet discovered from doing their work in geometry. All right, so this is the answer. And when you see a problem like this, another thing I want to point out is this. Oftentimes, we'll be given the diameter and asked to find the circumference. Or you'll be given the radius and asked to find the circumference. But in this problem, you were given the circumference and asked to find the diameter. So you had to learn how to count. You had to know how to kind of work it backwards. All right. But as long as you understand algebra, understand how to set up, how to use the formula, set up the equation, substitute what you need, you can use algebra and solve for what you're looking for. All right. So hit the like button if you didn't already. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. If you got any questions about anything I explained, please put your questions in the comment section and share this video with at least 2 other people. How y'all feel about Assata's edges? What y'all think? How long did you take to do those this morning, Assata? 5 minutes? 10 minutes? 15 minutes? 20? Let us know how you feel about Assata's edges in the comments. Let us know. Tell us how you feel. All right? Any last words? No? All right. I'm out. Peace.